Hair of the dog. What makes you bad makes you better. Breakfast of champions. Now, we've all heard these phrases that justify a little pick-me-up when we wake up the next day hungover. If it wasn't for this phrase that makes it acceptable for us to drink the next day, I might never have quit. But then again, I might not have had a problem in the first place. Who knows? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the slow progression of drinking and how it can quickly become a problem. How to identify if you have a problem. Also, to prevent the problem getting worse, therefore regaining control of your life without having to go to AA or rehab. Quick introduction, my name's Ben, I'm over 5 years sober, I've made over 100 videos on quitting alcohol. Also, I've made a full Get Sober video course, I'll leave the link in the description, it's completely free, check it out. During one of the most miserable times of my life, living in Australia in a trailer park in regional New South Wales on a winter's Sunday afternoon, I sat with my work colleague at the time watching the UFC on some dodgy internet stream whilst drinking Jack Daniels and sniffing cocaine. We were less than 12 hours away from having to wake up at 4 a.m. and go work away in some regional town. We'd finished work early Friday afternoon that weekend, and just being paid, we headed straight for the pub. It was now Sunday and we'd been drinking all weekend. We had slept, but we'd been drinking all weekend. I watched on as Shane slurped his can, scraped the rest of the cocaine together and made 2 lines. I felt anxious and powerless. We were working for an electrical company at the time, full of bogans, and they were just sending us to jobs that none of their boys wanted to go to. I was living a caged life, and there and then on that Sunday afternoon, I decided to quit alcohol and cocaine altogether. And almost 5 years later, I am here on this sofa to tell you the tale. When we first started drinking, it was fun and carefree. We used to go out, have a skinful, go home, go to bed, wake up the next day, no hangover, no harm done. So at what point do we let it become acceptable to drink again the following day? This is the slow progression of a serious problem. I remember watching my friend wake up on the sofa of a house party, dig his arm behind the sofa, pull out a quarter cut of vodka and start necking it. At the time, we were in our early 20s. We thought it was hilarious. We thought he was a superhero. 12 years later, he died. He never slowed down, got progressively worse over the years, and eventually his body failed him. Gone, just like that. How to know if you have a problem. You don't need to wake up every single day needing to have a drink just for it to be a problem. There you go, I said it. You can do just enough damage drinking on the weekends and not knowing when to stop. But this is the problem, right? Because you dust yourself off, go back to work on a Monday, you kind of think that you don't have a problem. Until your mid-30s when you're overweight, single and miserable. There's a clear, visible difference between drinkers and non-drinkers when we enter our 30s and 40s. I'm not talking to drinkers who are dependent on alcohol just to get through the day. I'm talking to the guys and girls who don't know when to stop when they start. Maybe you go 3 weeks without drinking. Maybe you drink every weekend but not through the week. Or maybe you drink at home after work moderately and then go to bed. I have a friend who does this and he's recently just quit. He's got a high paying job, he's got a wife, house, car, kids, the lot. But he said it's made him overweight, it's left him feel anxious and short of patience the following day with his family. This is because alcohol destroys your sleep. I'm talking to the guys who aren't labelled by society as alcoholics, but know deep down alcohol is silently holding them back from being and doing more in life. Being labelled an alcoholic would have probably been better for me, because much like yourself, it's hard for us to pinpoint that critical part where drinking became a problem. If this sounds like you and you're struggling, you can book me for one-to-one coaching. Alternatively, you can check out my free course. Both links are below. Now that we've identified that drinking is a problem, what can we do? Just stop. I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you. It's a matter of life or death, and a slow and painful one at that. You have two choices. You keep drinking and progressively let it get worse. 5 years' time, not much harm done. Maybe a few more failed relationships. Fallen short of a few personal and financial goals. Nothing major, but you think to yourself that you could have done better. But 10 years' time, you start to have regrets. You're into the third quarter of life and you're not getting any younger. Not much runway left. Health issues start creeping in. People don't notice you or start taking you seriously because your body is your resume and your finances are your final say. You might say, but Ben, I've tried so many times. I understand. This was me too. I told myself I'd quit enough times, I actually stopped believing in myself. But this is because you haven't found your real reason why you want to quit. Usually for this to happen, it takes something painful to happen in our lives. I felt like a loser. I just hit 30 and I had nothing to show for my life apart from 2 prison sentences. Not exactly riveting. That was enough for me to flip the switch and never look back. Get to the root cause of your decision of why you want to quit. Even play the tape forward. Say, if I keep going the way I'm going now, where will I be in 5 years' time? How will my life look if I keep going this way? For the guys who are watching this who have successfully quit, please let me know in the comments, what was that final straw that made you just say, enough is enough? You never know, that might be enough to help the guys who can't quit. Also, the best way to approach quitting in the beginning is to eliminate cravings. No craving, no problem. I have a full video broken down how to stop them in their tracks, and you can watch it here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.